Hey. Okay, so here we are live on Clubhouse as well as on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm Vernon Adrian Among, presenting Pivot to Asia, Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience. Here I am in Clubhouse. Mute yourself, Joshua. Joshua is a newbie. He's got his party pack there. So he's going to be a little bit, how shall I say, not exactly with the program, because I think this might be his first program. Is that correct, Joshua?
Yep.
Sorry, your first evening. First ever session on Clubhouse.
Yes, it is my first.
Okay, so to begin the first session on Clubhouse, right, I would like to suggest two things to you, Joshua. The first is to treat Clubhouse like LinkedIn on steroids. The fact that you are going to be given the opportunity to network with lots of people who might actually be able to give you opportunities in life. Because I've noticed that I've been able to network with very many people who are going to be very interesting friends because they know a lot of stuff. They're connected to areas of interest and even areas of business for me. So, in order for you to optimize Clubhouse, right? Like LinkedIn on steroids, number one, you need to put in a good picture of yourself. Okay, it helps because it basically presents you as somebody who's real. And to make it even more authentic, a short bio would be very good too. A short bio of at least 3 lines. Because if you look at my bio, if you tap on my face, right, and my bio comes out, the first 3 lines are really important because that is what you will see. And then if you go into view full profile, then you will see my full profile. My full profile looks quite comprehensive, right? But what happened was I took my time. So I started with the first 3 lines, and over time I kept adding to it. And I've been on Clubhouse since last February, which means it's given me a lot of time to add to it. And so therefore now you will see it looks pretty comprehensive, maybe a little long-winded, but hopefully interesting enough and authentic enough for people to kind of like get what I'm all about. Yeah. So Joshua, are you there? Would you like to tap your unmute button, unmute button, yep, and say something?
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what to say, but thanks for bringing me into this. I guess you're saying this whole thing is kind of like LinkedIn because you're connecting with people. It's, I guess I would compare it to like when you meet people in a club or in a social setting, and you meet other people, and you find out what they're doing, what their interests are, and there's no kind of a sit down interview kind of pressure. It's just getting to know people and being yourself, I guess, authentic self. And if you take it, I guess, take this more of than just something just for fun, I guess it could lead to something where, like you said, opportunities and things like that. And I guess maybe for me, I thought of it as something kind of cathartic with, all the stuff I'm going through. And maybe trying to hear from other people's stories and points of view about how they deal with such things and that kind of thing. Yeah.
Thanks, Josh. Now, okay, wonderful what you shared with us just now, because you allowed yourself to be kind of like vulnerable and mentioned that this might be cathartic for you because of the stuff you're going through. Yes, I think we need to acknowledge that the whole world is going through a very strange phase with this pandemic. And it has, in fact, kind of created a lot of disruption in many lives, even mine. And so I've turned to Clubhouse to see how I can look for purpose and meaning in my own life. So here I am, attempting an experiment of sorts in trying to do a simulcast on Clubhouse, even as it goes through Facebook and YouTube, through my various channels there, to see how perhaps maybe I can spread my message of hope, love, and charity. Yeah, so thank you, Josh. Okay, Josh, now that I've told you about how you can optimize your bio by putting in a real photograph, as well as at least start with 3 lines of a bio, which you can do even now as I speak to you. The next thing you should do is learn the conventions of how conversations and talk actually gets done here on Clubhouse. Okay. Now, Clubhouse has been, in a sense, created to be as inclusive as possible. Okay. And so they have come up with conventions which I think are very clever and very, very thoughtful. One of which is when we start to speak, when we unmute our microphone to speak, we should say our name. And then we say what we have to say. And then at the end of it, we say your name and done speaking. So when I come to the end of this spiel, which I will soon, okay, and I will hand over the mic to you, Josh, I'm going to say, I'm Vernon, and I'm done speaking. And so that's when you actually take over the microphone and take over from me, Josh. So, but it's just
Sorry.
not at
I
all.
thought there was something wrong.
But this is how it
Yes,
works. Okay, I'm going to say I'm Vernon. I'm done
Okay.
speaking.
My name is Joshua Sekan, and what I say basically, I just get into the room and start talking about something, or just introduce myself, and then I say, I'm Joshua, and I'm done speaking.
I'm Vernon. Yeah, exactly, Joshua. That's how you do it. Because now we do this for one reason. Okay, actually, the reason is to include Clubhouse users who are visually impaired as well as hearing impaired. The reason for this is for the hearing impaired, when we speak, there will be a teletext function going on. So the words will actually be, of what we say, will be creeping up their screen. And therefore, in order to let them know that, we have ended our speech and the next set of text that's going to be scrolling up will come from somebody else, we should mention our name so that they know that that's happening. The other reason why we do it also is because for the visually impaired is because if you notice while I am speaking, there's a gray circle that appears on my bio, on my bio pic. Okay, and that basically tells people who can see that I'm the one who's speaking in a crowded room. Okay, so therefore, for a visually impaired person, they cannot see that, and therefore, when we mention our name or when we close by mentioning our name, they know when somebody has started to speak or when somebody has stopped speaking. Okay, so that's how it happens. And so I'm going to ask you for your response on this. Joshua, I'm Vernon, and I'm done speaking.
Hi, Vernon. I'm Joshua, and yeah, I understand. Thank you for clarifying the rules and the basic etiquette of the rooms. I'm Joshua, and I'm done speaking.
Okay, thanks, Joshua. Thank you, Joshua, for that. Vernon here. Yeah, so that's two of the beginning points on how Clubhouse actually operates in terms of its etiquette and conventionality. The next thing you should know are the icons around the screen. Okay, so like if you tap on my face, right, my bio comes up. My bio comes up in 2 versions. The first version that you will see is the bio with perhaps maybe listing a room where I'm in. The other is that when you tap on that, my full bio will come up, and then you can scroll through my full bio, which may go on for a bit if I've had the time and inclination to give you a comprehensive bio. So this is the reason why I say that Clubhouse is LinkedIn on steroids, because not only do you see a person's resume or bio that he or she wants to present to you, but you also hear their voice, and therefore you know that the kind of person who's connected to the bio, because their voice will give you some good idea of how they communicate, what kind of words they choose, how they actually tackle various issues, etc. And it gives you a good idea of what that personality type is. So that's the bio itself and why it's important. Another aspect of the bio is that if you notice on my bio, when you tap on my face, right, you will notice that I use a lot of emoticons in my bio. It's studded with all these graphic emoticons. Now, the reason for this, right, is that people can actually do a search using emoticons. So if you notice in my first line of my bio, I've got various emoticons around the word the multimediator, which is how I brand myself. Well, if somebody decides they want to look for a filmmaker and they put in an emoticon of a film camera, right? My bio might actually pop up because in the multimediator line, there is a film camera icon to say that I have got experience in filmmaking and writing for film and producing film. Yeah, so that's one way how emoticons work in bios. So Joshua, when you actually start to use, when you actually start to work on your bio, you might take that into consideration, how you can make it, how you can include emoticons into your bio, as well as perhaps how to make it more interesting to look at, because it actually helps to make the eye stop whenever you come to an emoticon and pick up on the words next to the emoticon, making the reading and the picking up of important information more interesting, more effective, and more impactful. So these are actual tips that came about from various people working on how the brain works with regards to social media and communication and stuff like that. So that's what I'd like to share with you, Joshua. I'm going to pass the mic to you if you have any responses to what I've just said. I'm Vernon, and I'm done speaking.
I'm Joshua, and yeah, I do agree with you. Actually, thank you for all that highlight, and I do agree because even when I chat on like WhatsApp or social media, I use a lot of emoticons, and it helps make it more visual and emphasizes things. And it's interesting that it's used in a way to search as well. So yeah, I'll definitely, even in my I guess my profiles, I do use emoticons, and I find that it makes reading and seeing things visually more interesting. I'm Joshua, and I'm done speaking.
Okay, well done, Joshua. So you're getting with the program, so to speak. Okay, if you notice the biopic that you have, right? There's a party pack to the bottom left-hand corner of your pic. That basically means that you are a newbie on Clubhouse, and you will have that party pack on your picture for at least 7 days, for 1 week. And this allows for people like me and other moderators to realize that you're a newbie, and other members to know that you're a newbie. And therefore, we will treat you with a lot more consideration, because we will know that you are new to this environment and may not be aware of certain conventions and rules of etiquette and stuff like that. So, which that's another very thoughtful, I think, very thoughtful thing that the creators of Clubhouse have done here, right? And so we've got somebody down in the audience, Martin. I'm going to bring him up to join us if he'd like to ask any questions and stuff. Here we are in a room from the club Pivot to Asia, where I'm presenting a session on hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. I'm actually recording this and also streaming it to Facebook and YouTube. This is because this is an experiment of mine that I'm actually trying out to see whether it works, to see whether people are interested to come on and watch it. I've got 3 thumbs up on Facebook so far, so I guess that's kind of like good. I've also got 2 people sending me messages via the online streaming channels on Facebook and YouTube. Eric Ruffin and Alex Abraham, thank you very much. So we've got people outside of Clubhouse who are listening to us. And just to let you know, the image that I have put on the YouTube and Facebook streaming videos is simply a card of this particular event. So it's not actually, the video camera is not actually catching me because I didn't have budget for makeup and lights and stuff like that. So that's why. So on that note, I'm going to just stop here for a while to ask Joshua if he has any questions so far. Joshua, over to you. Vernon Dunn speaking.
I'm Joshua, and Vern, actually, I don't have any more. I guess it's just all very new to me, but it's nice that you've actually you've clarified a lot of things. So I will take my time, and I see your profile's very interesting, very full, and I guess I can learn a lot from your profiles and other profiles, and I will definitely start to create mine. I think over time. Yeah, I'm trying to find a picture, old picture of myself as well, and yeah, it reminds me of like even LinkedIn and slowly building up your profile, and I guess digging in deeper to learn more about yourself. And yeah, that's all. You've made it very clear. So yeah, it's just getting the hang of things. I'm Joshua, and I'm done speaking.
Okay, thanks a lot, Joshua. The other thing that I think a newbie needs to know is that you should follow people. Okay, and you can follow people by tapping on their faces. When their bio opens up, you will see the follow button. If you click on follow, you'll be following them. What happens then also is a bell appears next to the follow button. That is to say that you want to be told when they are opening rooms, so that you can go to the rooms that they speak to. The reason why you should follow anybody who interests you or impresses you is that then what happens is it will widen your Clubhouse experience. The more people you follow, the more you will know of what's going on in Clubhouse. If you follow very few people, it narrows your experience down. Okay. So it is important to, in a sense, cast your nets wide. It's like life in general, because like if you stay in your own village and don't move out, your experience will be very, very limited. If you move into your state, if you move around your state, it widens up a bit. If you move outside your country and travel abroad, your perspective on life will be even more wide and rich and full of experiences. So this is the same thing on Clubhouse. I've heard a lot of people say that they think Clubhouse is just another echo chamber. Well, let me tell you, I've been on social media since day one, and I've been studying various social media appliances. And I can tell you that social media is not the reason why you live in an echo chamber. The reason why you live in an echo chamber is that you do not wish to be more curious and fearless about what is going on. And that is the reason why I say follow people. It's like going out into the street and asking questions and engaging with people and trying the different foods that might look strange to you, because that is how your life's experience actually widen and become more, and you become more knowledgeable, and your perspectives become more interesting, and you'd be able to have even better conversations. So that is the reason why I say follow as many people as possible. Do not feel afraid to follow them, even if you don't know them. And in fact, it's more important to follow them if you don't know them and if they impress you, because then you will be able to get drawn to the rooms where they speak, and you can begin to get to know them even better. And maybe at some point, if they really impressed you, because you're in the same room, it might give you an opportunity to actually engage with these people who impress you. And this is the reason why I feel Clubhouse is LinkedIn on steroids. Okay, and we've got Daryl down in the audience. I'm going to bring him up because he was one of the people, one of my friends, one of my young friends who actually was lured into Clubhouse by me. So I'm going to bring him up and ask him, and maybe he can ask me questions about various things. So Daryl, please come up and join us, because this is all about hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. Don't be shy, Daryl. Joshua, if you have any questions, please. Daryl is up. Okay. Hi, Daryl. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine.
Okay. So far, how has your Clubhouse experience been?
It's been exciting. It's been interesting. You can actually, so far, I've followed a lot of people, and a lot of people followed me also. Not just in Clubhouse, but also in Instagram. And it's 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 good to know how other people, what are the experience other people are having around, are having, and what they experience um, through their life. Actually, it's also, it's everyone is being very vulnerable in Clubhouse. They are being so open with a lot of things. However, there are some people that couldn't follow the rules and got kicked out, but there's a very few of those. So overall, I would say my experience in Clubhouse is quite interesting and eye-opening. This is Daryl, and I'm done.
Thanks, Daryl. And perhaps maybe you can share, okay? Because I invited you into Clubhouse and I told you to get onto it to figure out, perhaps and said to you that opportunities would actually be available to you if you wandered around and said hello to people and spoke. Can you share with us? And I know the story about one of the first few rooms that you came with me into Clubhouse and what happened with regards to, I think his name was Andrew Chong. Perhaps you can tell that story. I'm Vernon. I'm done speaking.
Okay, it was one of my first room that I joined. If I'm not, yeah, it was one of my first rooms that I've joined in Clubhouse, and I forgot what was the topic for that day, but it's some it started with Vernon introducing me to the room, and I've introduced myself as a local ethnic in Sarawak, which is Iban Bidayu, and Siobhan, if I'm not wrong, it was a person named Siobhan that asked about my background, asked about my culture and traditions, and oh yeah, it was also a week or two before Gawai, which is a harvest festival here, a popular harvest festival here in Sarawak. And Vernon suggested that um, I should build a platform so that people from Peninsula could know more about the local ethnicities here in Sarawak, and the culture and the tradition and also the history. And suddenly, a person that I don't know at all, Andrew, he offered to help me, and he is a person that is very active in youth leadership. So, and he tried to help me with whatever I need, and trying to push me to lead with this project. I think that's all. This is Daryl, and I'm done.
Okay, thanks a lot, Daryl, for sharing that. Yeah, so it was very interesting how you came on board. Somebody asked you some questions. Somebody suggested that it was me maybe for you to do something about generating awareness of the youth of cultures and ethnicities in Sabah and Sarawak to the peninsulan people. And then this other guy who was in the room suggested that he'd like to help out, and immediately Daryl was connected with him. And I think the project is work in progress at the moment, right, Daryl?
Yeah, it's work in progress because I still need some context, and my friend is still not very free to help me.
Okay, well, maybe we can talk about this some more and see how we can build momentum on that project, because I think it's wonderful that Andrew stepped up and offered to help. And yes, he is involved in youth empowerment and was very excited to help with Daryl. So yeah, I mean, opportunities abound, people and connections on Clubhouse waiting to be made and met, and and to ignite various opportunities so that people can mutually benefit from it. And I think that's wonderful. Joshua, do you have anything that you'd like to ask Daryl? Because Daryl's been on Clubhouse for now, I think maybe a month and a half or 2 months. Daryl, is that right? How long have you been on Clubhouse? I need to look at your bio.
Wait. I think it's almost a month and a half. It's around a month and a half.
Yeah, since May. So yeah, that would be a month and a bit. Yeah. So Josh, is there any questions you'd like to ask Joshua? Sorry, what am I saying? Joshua, do you have any questions to ask Daryl?
Yeah, I heard that. No, actually, no. But it's very. Thank you for sharing, Daryl, all with your experience. Vernon actually just told me about this last night, and I was thinking, because I did speak to him and about my issues and stuff, and I was just thinking, maybe it's just a room you just go and sound off, and people will chime in and say what they feel, and I guess it's in a way like that, but it's nice that it's not just like people do take it like kind of in a serious way, and it's done in a professional way, because there are many ways people can trash it up and make it like something we'll just not take seriously. But no, I don't have any questions at the moment. I guess I have to slowly. I've just downloaded the app and I just logged in, and I did follow a few people that I do know. I'll need them more, and I'm a big follower even on Instagram. I have too many people I follow. Not that many followers, but yeah, it's I guess it's good to be able to observe and listen and to learn from others, because there's so much we can. When I get stuck or have questions about certain things, I guess I'll reach out, and when I cross that bridge. I'm John.
Okay, thanks, Joshua. Dave, is there anything you'd like to say? I yield the mic to you, Dave. Vernon done speaking.
No, I just come in. I don't know what is happening, so I'm just jamming to listen. Yeah.
Okay, perhaps Dave, you can share your Clubhouse experience. Are you happy with it, or are you perplexed by it, or are you annoyed by it? Does it fill your time fruitfully? Vernon done speaking.
Yeah, I've been called to the Clubhouse because I'm a technical support. So someone called me into the Clubhouse to resolve their sound system problem, and by knowing I'm such a technical person, I will find out in and out how it operates, how it program, and how what it can do. But at the beginning stage of the Clubhouse, it seems a bit overwhelming. I can get in touch with everybody in the world and every kind of knowledge in the world. But compared to the Clubhouse right now, I think that group of people has missing in action. And only left some of the low quality Android India user that is keep on throwing the room and having difficulty to pick up the ethical of how to do communication and how to moderate a room. And the quality of the topic is dropped in terms of like dive deep. And then now my hallway is missing all the quality topic discussion anymore. It's only all those small talk about cooking and here and there. And then from time to time, you see people in the room, their energy is a bit weird, and they are having a conversation that no direction. That is, I find it a big contrast compared to the initial join when the Clubhouse is only available for the iOS user. So that is my observation. I'm done speaking, Dave, here.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dave. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, because it actually is a problem ever since Android users were allowed into the room. Because when iOS users were onboarded in the beginning stage, which was phase 1 and phase 2, I think it was phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And I came in February of this year. It was apparently phase 3. It was the last phase of only iOS users. The last phase of only Apple iPhone users. Apple iPhone users in joining Clubhouse had to use their Apple user ID, which meant that they had to sign up they had to sign up, and they could not be anonymous. And therefore, it made sure that people who came on board were authentic accounts from authentic personalities. And I think what Clubhouse did in the early stages was that they actually recruited a lot of good speakers, a lot of intellectuals, a lot of academics, a lot of social activists. So the earlier phase 1, phase 2 ecosystem that was Clubhouse was very substantial and very valuable and very interesting and knowledgeable. And in phase 3, when they opened it up to, I think they opened it up to a larger part of the world, in fact, the whole world, before the Androids in phase 4. That was when I came in. And yes, and I think Dave, because I nominated him in, I'm the person who conned him into joining Clubhouse. At that point in time, it was still only iPhone users, and the rooms and hosting was done by people who were very serious about having valuable conversations. Consequently, when they opened it up to Android users, I believe Android users did not have to use a user ID or something. They could easily download it off Google Shop. And immediately all kinds of different account holders started to come in. And that was when the trolls and various delinquents and deviants started to flood into Clubhouse. And yes, the moment that happened, more kinds of different rooms of perhaps maybe less, how shall I say? I mean, with different rooms that we were not familiar with, or we felt we could not be a part of, because it was younger people. It was people who were maybe even less educated and or did not speak English. So the number of rooms that began to be filled in terms of what one would say is kind of like a English educated, middle class, worldly kind of state of mind, more rooms of not of that kind started to form, and more people not of that kind started to come in, and it became more real world, I guess. So the utopia that was Clubhouse was, in a sense, affected by that. But there is a way to actually optimize and not get caught into the whirlpool that is humanity, which is an incredible mix of people with various experiences. And that is to ensure that you follow the right people. You follow the people who impress you. You follow the people who impress you with their speech or with their bios. And that can have a great impact on your hallway experience. The hallway experience meaning the rooms that you're exposed to. Because when you come into Clubhouse, you are fed the number of rooms available to you. Okay, and that particular algorithm comes out from who you follow and where you've been. So therefore, if you've been going into the wrong places or following the wrong people, then chances are, the content that you will be getting will be less, how shall I say, less of the kind that you had hoped for. And I think it's really about trying to find out what works best for you, rather than giving up, throwing your hands up, in despondency, because it is, social media is just a tool. The real world is still out there. It cannot protect you from the real world. What it does is that it enables communication. And so therefore, if you're going to, put your hand out and want to communicate to the world, you're going to get all kinds of types coming up to you and wanting to engage. And how you choose to actually respond to these people will also determine what kind of an experience you will have. So if you're going to get angry, then it's going to make your experience less pleasant. So usually what I do is I ignore the rooms that I don't want to go into that might annoy me. If I hear speakers that say things that somehow don't jive with what I like to hear, I leave the room. I let them be. I leave the room. I go and look for somewhere else to go to, and that's what it's all about: to be aware and mindful of where you're going, and to be positive and constructive in your encounters with various people, and not to get embroiled in fights and stuff. So that's what I would like to suggest to many of you who are coming on Clubhouse and maybe realizing that it's not Wonderland. It is not. It is like the world. The world has a huge spectrum of experiences to offer you. If you choose to make certain choices that are wrong, either you are stuck in a situation that's going to make you bring you down, or you change your choice and turn a different direction and try something else out. I mean, that is how that is the best way to approach reality and life in general. So that's what I like to suggest to people who might have a strange or unpleasant situation in Clubhouse, to realize that it's just like the world. Clubhouse did not promise to give you Disneyland. So we need to come to that. We need to realize that. Yeah, anybody would like to say anything? I'm Vernon Nandam speaking.
Talking about facing the conflict in Clubhouse is quite interesting. Normally, I don't involve in any conflicts or heavy discussion or debate until I met a group of powerful women speakers. Some of it are from the Tech Act. They gathered together to make some kind of woman room with entrepreneurship, which I think the value and the direction they are heading to is like completely out of my value system. I just trying to give 1 or 2 cents of my opinion. The whole group of women is surrounding me and wallop me and giving me a hard time. And I just politely and say, I'm so sorry if I offended you. And as a man, this will be my last time to come into your room. And now I'm observed. They go round and round. It's still the same group of women and nobody there. So yeah, that kind of funny experience.
Well, I don't know what your personal experience was like, Dave, and I don't know how you responded. But I'll take your word for it that you felt marginalized or victimized, and I'm really sorry that happened. But life is full of these kinds of things that we might experience either through our own decisions or through some weird coincidence that happens, and we just need to deal with it. Okay, thanks a lot, Dave. Yeah, Joshua or Daryl, would you like to say anything?
Nothing so far.
For me, nothing as well.
Okay, on that note, I think, yep. Okay, on that note, I think Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience Part 1 will come to an end. Unless, of course, Hazim, who is down on stage. Oh, he's raised his hand. So I'm going to bring him up, invite to speak. Okay, Hazim, I've invited you up to speak. Yes, yes, Hazim. Here we are on Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Good evening from India. First of all, hello to you all. So the topic is Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience. So I'm here to just get the perception, get the point of views that you all were sharing. But right now, I think you have concluded your topic and discussion. So what do you need from me?
Well, any kind of questions that you have with regards to the Clubhouse experience, what have you learned from here? What actually do you like about it or don't like about it? What any kind of advice or suggestions that you can, offer to newbies like Joshua, who still has his party pack? Those are the things, Hazim.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, it's been a good experience till now. So the thing that people like me are interested in, I go into those rooms and just want to have an interaction. If you're an introvert and want a socialization and you want to socialize with people, you want to interact with people, there is no better place than Clubhouse. If you're very much shy doing it in public, so Clubhouse is basically, you're anonymous. You can be anonymous as well if you want to interact, or if you want to learn something, you can do that as well. So Clubhouse is that place where introverts can become extroverts or maybe ambiverts.
Which one are you? Are you an ambivert, or are you an extrovert or an introvert?
I am an ambivert, surely.
Okay, and would you agree with me that Clubhouse is LinkedIn on steroids? What do you think?
It's linked in with?
LinkedIn on steroids.
I am not using LinkedIn. That's why I can't comment on that. Maybe you're right.
Okay, thank you for that, Hazim. Yep. So, okay, yes, we're coming to 40 minutes on this particular. We've got Jia Ping, who's joined us. Hello, Jia Ping. I'm going to bring you up on stage so you can share with us various Clubhouse experiences that you've had.
Hi, what are we talking about today?
Hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. Do you have any hacks for a better Clubhouse experience? What has been your Clubhouse experience that you might like to share with us?
Well, I don't know about hacks because I'm bad at hacking. But I do know that if the room doesn't allow people to join as speakers, then I kind of lose interest, very fast, because then I can just switch on the radio. So the hack is always allow the raise hand button to be on. If that makes sense.
I totally agree with you.
Okay, wonderful. So basically, you like the interactivity of what Clubhouse offers. Is that correct, Jia Ping?
That's how it's different from all other platforms, right? The ability to, if you have something to say, someone is kind enough to bring you on the stage to say it, and I think everybody in Clubhouse is very well. They understand the rules. I've been on it for three months, and people very generally tend to kind of say their thing and go. You rarely get those who kind of overstay their welcome. And then it creates a new dynamic. And as a moderator, it makes the flow better because you have other people contributing, and you're not just talking about you're not just hearing your own voice, which is kind of boring most of the time.
Vernon here. Yeah, Hazim, you want to say something?
No, I was just basically agreeing with her, and what I want to say is, or basically what I want to add to her was, he was bang on in saying that if you don't allow people to interact with you, or if they are raising hands to say something, you're not allowing them. It is just better to listen to something that's on radio, because you're not a celebrity, or you're not somebody that you won't allow people to interact with you. Maybe celebrities should do that as well. And if this room is Clubhouse, it's named on Club, so it needs people. There can be just one moderator and not allowing people to interact with him. And I think I am up for any discussion, be it in my knowledge or not. I'm just going to say whatever I want to.
Thanks, Azim. Yeah, I think the most valuable thing about it is the conversations that occur on a spontaneous basis, where people wander into a room and actually, chime in on what's on their minds, and something very spontaneous happens. Yeah. Jia Ping, you want to say something?
Yeah, I love it that, sometimes you have people that are absolute gurus in their fields. And so I love the whole spontaneity. And if these gurus decide they want to raise a hand and say something, it means that you're doing something right as a moderator, because then you are getting them to say something or to share a point of view. So that's the challenge if you want to moderate a room, is to be as open as possible, to allow other people to have their say, or to give their points of view. Thanks.
Thanks, Japing. Yeah, for me, that is the most wonderful thing about Clubhouse. It reminds me of a childhood dream that I had, or rather, Clubhouse actually is a childhood dream that I had, which was to own a citizen band radio, a CB radio. It's those radios that like truckies use, where they can communicate to each other over and out. So like I'm Vernon, I'm done speaking. Reminds me of I'm over and out kind of thing, and that is exactly what this environment, this ecosystem is, where people can actually communicate with each other. We don't know who we're talking to sometimes. And once in a while, as you mentioned, a guru comes along and wanders into your room, takes to the stage, and boom, you get a brain explosion because of their offering. And it's all for free. You didn't even have to make an appointment with them, right? And that's the beauty of this spontaneous Clubhouse situation, which, because of the onboarding that Clubhouse had earlier on in its early days, phase 1 and phase 2, bringing in academics and intellectuals and various social activists. That is the reason why the gurus are here, I guess. Yeah. Joshua, Daryl, Dave. Anybody like to chime in here?
I don't know. For the hack, I think it's important to integrate a whiteboard, or people click on your profile. You can immediately share your picture, share your video, so that to make the discussion even more interactive, rather than just solely based on explanation of languages. Sometimes you need a combination of drawing, so that we can also play win, lose, or draw on Clubhouse here. I'm Dave, I'm done speaking.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I think win, lose, or draw on Clubhouse would be very interesting, especially if somebody else was drawing, something. Yeah, interesting. But, I've actually seen rooms where they have actually augmented it with various other online tools, so that even as you're watching Clubhouse, you can actually contribute to a whiteboard or a spreadsheet online. So people are kind of like, how should I say, collaborating or creating multi-tool kit situations involving Clubhouse, which has been very interesting. And just to reset the room, okay, hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. I created this room at 10 o'clock tonight because I had some friends who are new to Clubhouse, and one of them being Joshua here next to me, wearing his party pack. So I thought, with me giving him an orientation of Clubhouse, maybe I can open it up to various people who can share their experiences and stuff like that. And so meanwhile, we are getting other people coming into the room. Thanks a lot, Mandy, EC, and Andrew. If you'd like to contribute and share your experiences about a better Clubhouse experience, suggestions that you have, anything at all, please raise your hand and I'll bring you up on stage. Yeah. So going back to what Dave was talking about, the use of other functions within Clubhouse, I think it would draw away from the beauty of what Clubhouse is all about, which is audio, which is purely audio, which is purely voice and sound. And so I think if they start to tag on other functionalities, yeah, it might become too encumbered with other stimuli that might actually draw away from the attentive listening that is actually the power of Clubhouse. I'm Vernon. I'm done speaking.
I think it come back into the hidden agenda. If you opening up other tools, the conversation become fraction and broken. It defeated the purpose of collecting artificial intelligence chatbot that the Clubhouse can reuse our conversation by changing the voice of a certain person. The whole conversation can be repeat again and put it into some other artificial intelligence room and use it as a bait for conversation or discussion that going on. So for me, as a programmer perspective, I will stick to what Clubhouse did if I have that agenda. Yeah. So I just try to express my observation for a programmer view or a computer science perspective here.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting because I was just reading up about deep fake, Dave, and it's. I always wonder who's, this whole thing about ego and vanity. Would someone put their face onto my face? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm kind of enjoying some of the deep fake videos out there, but the whole possibility that someone could steal your identity is always very fascinating to me. So thanks for that, Dave.
Jumping, now they don't steal your identity or steal your profile picture. They use your profile picture and populate 100 versions of similar look jumping so that they can populate a follower or audience below there at your Clubhouse there. That is like thousands of audience with populated face profile that make the room like so popular. It's like a totally show business for me, we are in the show business. We need to know how to do the show business tactic. Dave here, that's speaking.
What exactly are you trying to say, Dave? I basically couldn't understand.
If I'm a programmer, after I collect the conversation, I can fine tune the sound profile of each person. I can basically repopulate the whole conversation with different profile picture, and I also can populate the audience down there that make for display to give the public perspective that the room is so heated up and so many people are viewing and listening, but in real fact they are just a profile picture that is being generated based on a certain face, a random a mixture of face to create all the profile and then to make the room popular, and then to kickstart the momentum.
Okay, thanks, Dave. I mean, like that kind of like wariness can be tiresome, and doesn't really. Yes, of course, various data can be collected by various anybody to take advantage of you and put you into a difficult situation. Yes, there are people out there, organizations out there that do that kind of thing. But if we're going to move forward positively and constructively, I think we need to believe in give other people the benefit of the doubt and assume that the best is yet to come, and in a sense, kind of like use whatever is given to us, especially here in Clubhouse, for our own benefit, and think positive about what we're doing with it. I, for one, know that since late February until now, given the situation that the world and the country is in, Clubhouse by its very nature has been good for me. It's been helped me to connect with people, stay sociable, and learn so much over the course of the last few months. So that's basically my position. I'm not going to be suspicious. Maybe because it hasn't happened to me yet. But until it happens to me, I refuse to be suspicious, and I will choose vulnerability over suspicion. I want to give situations and everybody the benefit of the doubt. So that's my position on that. Thanks.
Yeah. Well said, Vernon. Thank you for always bringing the positive spin onto things. I do have a hack. I find that if there are certain people out there in Clubhouse who are extremely giving and generous, and I always try and look out for them and join their groups because so the one group is the Malaysian group that Kit Chan hosts with a few other people.
V3.
And then sorry?
V3 Circle.
Yeah, and then there's also the Asians hosted by this person Nathan, who lives in America. Very, very kind groups. So find your tribe, or find groups that you can kind of meet certain people and kind of listen to their voices and what they're saying and say, oh, she sounds or he sounds like someone who could be part of my tribe. And I think, as you said, Vernon, I found people that I really can connect to in Clubhouse, and in the pandemic, it is a real joy. So thanks.
Thanks for your support, Japping. Yep, it's for me, it's always about looking for the bright side. There's always a dark side. If we allow for the dark side to take over, then we've lost it, lah. EC, thank you for joining us. Wonderful to see you again, sir.
Hi,
so
good evening. Good evening.
good evening. Good evening. I yield the mic to you if you have anything to chime in with regards to our topic or anything of interest. EC?
I popped in when you just, I think, refreshed the room and then Dave shared his point of view. Honestly, I do agree with you, Vernon, and also look at, what Dave has shared. There are always conspiracy theories out there, but I'm looking at the conspiracy theory. There's only one conspiracy theory that I look at is SP370, but that's besides the point today. There's always the good side and the flip side of every technology, right? As you said, Vernon, and the question is how we utilize it and maximize it to our benefit. But of course, being vulnerable doesn't mean we are ignorant, nor we are oblivious to the fact that anything is possible. It's very important to continually check on the different social medias. And I think, as you said, friends and connections are important to keep a lookout because, I've not got friends who got their Facebook hacked, their Instagram hacked, and put their faces out there and asking for new friends. And I'm also very, very careful whenever I'm already friend with someone and I get a new invite. And they ask me for my contact. My first question is, when are you going to pay me back the 1,000 you took from me? And they disappear. So I think being vulnerable is one thing. It's fine, but we need to be aware. I do have certain takes on precautions on AI. Again, I take small precautions. One of the things that I'm very careful is with regards to like Dave has done, probably this is the new thing about making your face into a cartoon character, or making yourself old, making yourself male or female. I'm very careful with using this software because my conspiracy theory is that this software is basically identifying your facial recognition and analyzing your identity to a certain extent as well. So not that they cannot take my current profile picture and do it, but when I'm in a close proximity staring at the camera, one of the possibilities that it is also not only scanning your face, but it's also doing your iris recognition. So that's my take on it. So I do have certain, certain precautions on certain technologies out there, but I think we have to wait. We have to wait. What is the benefit? What is returned? And honestly, I tell you, only recently Android has been, Clubhouse has been made available to Android, I think, in May. I find that it is, you said, it is very useful to a certain extent to keep in a social environment, share with like-minded people, thoughts, that you might not talk to your friends because to a certain extent, you don't know me, I don't know you. But of course, we have certain profiles that we put in our LinkedIn and Instagram. But I'm also very careful with who and what I share to a certain extent. But it's good to basically rant sometimes. So this is easier and out for now. Thank you.
Easy, you just remind me of a situation like you and your friend or you and your wife could be in the same room, but both of you connected to Clubhouse or some social media. You cannot talk direct to your wife. You need to go through the whole internet, out to the whole world, and go to the Clubhouse or media there to say hi. Do you free to go for dinner? And then you get a response rather than talk directly. We are in that kind of century.
But that makes things interesting to a certain extent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just another tool to reach out. I've been in situations where I was staying with a friend before the lockdown in Australia, and the friend had 2 children, and basically the mother and the two kids were having conversations through WhatsApp, even though they were in the same house. But it just made it more convenient because it was a double-story house. Yeah, it would have taken them. It would have been less convenient. So it just connected them quickly. And if that's going to enhance communication, why not? Yeah. So on that note, EC, Tony's come on board. Hello, Tony. Perhaps you might like to introduce yourself and share with us what's on your mind on any of the issues that has been discussed so far. Thanks, Tony. Over to you.
Hi, Vernon. I just came in. I really don't know what this is about. I only here because of Jiaping, because I follow her. So, I suppose from your...
Hey, Tony.
I suppose from the title of your topic, Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience, I have just been on Clubhouse about 3 weeks ago. And the reason I got into Clubhouse was because I was invited by someone based on an article that I had written. So he thought it was quite interesting and he asked me to be a guest. So my experience so far has been great, I'd say. I thought I had to do a presentation. So I naively asked him, "Oh, do we need my PowerPoint slides?" And he said, no. It's just all audio. And I think that's one of the best things about Clubhouse at the moment is that you don't really need a lot of preparation because you can always hide behind a presentation. So where Clubhouse, the experience has been for me is that, you say things that, not necessarily that it has truth, but it's from what you know and from your own experience. Also from different rooms that I've been in, everyone's very supportive. They're not judgmental, which is also a very, very good experience. So Vernon, I don't know if this is helpful, but this is, sorry, I just joined you because I saw Jiaping on. Thanks, this is Tony, thank you.
Excellent, Tony. I really like that whole, your sharing of the PowerPoint situation where, no, you're just going to, speak about it. You don't need your PowerPoints. And your thought was, oh, okay, I'll need to deal with this. And therefore, perhaps,
Yeah, because you can always hide behind a presentation, It's all the stuff that you've done, and then you just and the worst thing is, especially you read from it. And, it's so easy to sound very smart. But because some people ask me, after I invited them, like some of my family members, they said, what's this all about? And I jokingly told my sister, hey, if you get on and you're going to say something, just sound intelligent. So, when you don't have a deck of slides to hide behind, I think it just sort of strips away all that things that you don't know or you think you know, and just the things that that is just very close to you, or the things that you've experienced at least. So when I wrote that article, I did about 2 weeks of research and I wrote it very quickly, and it struck a note with my friend, and from there different people came in, and the best part was, like I said, people are very supportive. So they complimented some things I said. They also gave me some new perspectives. So if I was to write something else or to write the same topic again, it would be better, I think, in the future, or inspire me to do other topics that my friend might be interested in. My background is architecture, so architects, we have a lot of issues and a lot of problems to talk about. And there are a lot of these that I'm slowly getting exposed to as well. So, yeah, sorry to talk so much. Thank you very much.
Not at all, Tony. Wonderful share. What's really interesting is you mentioned architects need to talk a lot. And do you think that your time on Clubhouse or anybody's time on Clubhouse actually allows for them to develop their conversation skills and ability to perhaps maybe process audio information?
Yes, definitely. I'd say, for example, Jiaping's great. Jiaping's very sharp. And I listen to her sessions, and she moderates them really, really well. So I'm not a moderator, but I'm thinking like, wow, if I could do it, then these are some of the people that I can learn from. So yeah, I think it's been a great exposure. It's been a great experience. Thank you.
Jiaping also a very good chef. Jiaping, when you can cook for me.
Thank you, guys. My head is getting really, really big, and I'm so, honored at all the accolades. But I think, Tony, I think you have underrated yourself. You have so much to give, and just take your time. Whenever you're ready, I'm happy to co-moderate a room with you, because I think the knowledge that you have, I think, a lot of people will benefit from it besides your students. So yeah, and happy to kind of help you out if you want to. Tony, I'm here for you. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Yapik.
Yeah, Tony. I mean, it can only get better if you do it more often. So start moderating, and before you know it, you'll be better than Japping even. It's one of those things.
So to let you know, my first moderation of the room, nobody showed up. So that was the hugest failure I've had to deal with. But then I just thought, hey, if nobody shows up, then nobody knows that I failed. So I can do it again. So don't be afraid. That's all I can say.
I think most of you would agree that the conversation we're having here is, worthwhile, right? But when I started this room with Joshua, right, at the beginning at about 10 p.m., he and I were the only people in this room, and we were here by ourselves. And then Dave came along, and Daryl came along, another guy who's not here anymore. So it's built up. So it needs momentum, it needs time, it needs persistence, and it needs, most of all, commitment. I mean, if you're committed to getting something going, Clubhouse has taught me that if you are committed to finding kind of like information, even you can find it here in this space. And maybe it needs for you to actually ask the right people, and you can find the right people here. So even if it's not handed to you on a plate, if you're resourceful enough, I think it's possible to extend ourselves beyond what we ever imagined. I mean, I for one never thought I'd be running a room like this. Here I am. So yeah, Nabila, great to see you. As I see you every evening, you're my Clubhouse buddy, bestie, right? How would you like to share your thoughts on the topic? Over to you.
I just came in, so I'm assuming hacks for a better Clubhouse experience is still on the card, right? That's what everybody's talking about.
Yep, share your insights into what you discovered on Clubhouse.
Okay, sure. I joined Clubhouse, I think last year, maybe in December. I think someone at the Web Summit, I attended the Web Summit early December, and then someone at the Web Summit said that Clubhouse is a great networking platform for tech entrepreneurs. So I had changed careers. I was in the aid and development sector for 15 years, and then now I co-founded a tech nonprofit startup based in the Netherlands. So from that conversation, I joined Clubhouse, and I found that it's not only relevant for networking opportunities, but there are also other conversations to be had. So for example, I'm part of the Survivors Club because I survived sexual assault, female genital mutilation, and then there are like Women Founders Unite. I'm just reading out some of my clubs here right now. I just scrolled down. And I find that experimenting on the app is very useful because a lot of people, some of my friends that I introduced the app to said that the user interface or the user experience is not very friendly. So I found it very useful to, take the initiative to fiddle with all of the functions, go to the different components of the app and exploring it myself because I don't feel like it's very intuitive. But I enjoy it very much. I think among my group of friends, I'm the only one that enjoy it a lot, which is why I hang out with Vernon every night on Clubhouse because none of my other friends really like hanging out. I jump from room to room and I find it really refreshing because, so for example, there is this room that I happened to be in, and then another guy said, oh, okay, I also host this room called African Daily Proverbs, and I used to live in Africa, and Nairobi is it feels like my second home. So I joined that room now every night at about 10 p.m. so that we could discuss one African proverb per day. So it's quite I would say, worldly. I could travel the world or interact with people on the other side of the world without, leaving my office, because I'm pretty much stuck here right now in Malaysia. So that's been my experience so far. I don't know of any hacks though. I think maybe if you want to sort of gain a larger outreach, the key is to maybe be on the app more often and join as many clubs and in the rooms to speak, to find speaking opportunities. Because then when you're on stage, I notice if you're on stage and you are sharing a story, people tend to, click on your profile when you're speaking if they find you interesting, and then they'll follow you. My name is Nabila. I'm done speaking. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Nabila. Yeah, that's a good hack, which I also repeat time and time again. Follow as many people as possible, especially the ones who impress you when they speak or who impress you with their bio. The more people you follow, the more the algorithm delivers to you the rooms of variety, and it makes your Clubhouse experience a lot more full. It's like it's actually, for me, any social media is a tool, and the experiences you have will depend on how you actually curate your own experience. And so therefore, if you expand the people you follow, the experiences you have will also expand simultaneously. That's a good one, Nabila. Thank you very much. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to ask Adrian Abraham here, whom I've been in a room with before, to join us. The last time we were in a room together, he shared some amazing information about health, safety and health in the workplace. Adrian, could you please introduce yourself and tell us what's on your mind? Good to see you again. Over to you, Adrian.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Vernon, for the introduction. I'm Adrian. And what attracted me to this particular clubhouse was hacks for a better clubhouse experience. So my good and dear friend Isitan is the guy who first brought me onto this platform, and I must say I've had a little bit of a difficult birthing into Clubhouse. I'm not entirely convinced that the platform works, but I'm open for new points of view, and this title, Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience, of course, attracted me. My first problem with Clubhouse is it's entirely temporary. After we close this Clubhouse, all the valuable things all of you have said appears to have been lost in the ether somewhere. Isn't that an awful shame, I thought? But anyway, I stand to be corrected. Perhaps there is a perspective to this that I don't fully understand. I understand, especially during this time of lockdown, where people may be stuck at home, where people's lives have been thrown into a bit of a tailspin because of what's been going on for a year and a half now. We all need an avenue to interact, to vent. Perhaps I totally understand that, and perhaps that may be attributable as a contributing factor to the success of Clubhouse up to this point. And I totally understand that, appreciate that, and value that also. But like most of you, probably I'm in a transition in my career. I need to find another way of making it work. I'm late in life, so I'm not in a desperate mode at all. I think EC understands that more than the rest of you. But still, I'm looking for a way to remain relevant in the last 20 years of my career. I want to make a contribution. I want to feel useful. I want to feel that I'm making other people's lives more happy. And maybe Clubhouse is that platform. I don't know yet. But clearly, Hacks for a Better Clubhouse Experience is attractive. how are we to make this platform more attractive to people? And I think people coming and joining a Clubhouse and the numbers being 100, 150, Vernon, that we achieved the other day is entirely too temporary for me. There needs to be something that delivers more value. Of course, for the 100 people at that time, when they listen to our conversation, may have gained additional insight and perhaps that added some value to their lives. Wonderful and great. But after that, it's gone. It's gone in the ether. So what are the hacks? What are the hacks that we are able to add more prolonged value to our conversations? So Vernon and I, EC, and a couple of other people, we had a conversation going on on LinkedIn. That could be a possible venue to add value. I don't know. I'm the first to admit that I don't know what the solution is. But I think if all of us come together and talk about solutions for a better Clubhouse experience, maybe we can formulate something. Now, and I totally understand. I understand people need to vent. People need to talk. It makes them feel better. It's a psychological medicine towards well-being. I totally understand it completely. But my friends, if we are going to share our deepest, darkest feelings and opinions and perspectives, there must be a way that it adds value to the folks that are not able to join us at this time. The people that may come 1 or 2 hours later, 6 months down the road, whatever it is, to hear us delivering valuable insight on the current insights to what's going on in the world today, and hopefully add some perspective, add some value, add some comfort to their lives. And that's what's attracted me to this Clubhouse. Hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. Thank you. This is Adrian.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Thank you very much for all that. And yes, we, the ephemeralness of the Clubhouse experience is something that has bothered me for the longest time, because I have noted and learned so much and found so valuable spontaneous offerings such as yourself just now. Has it disappeared and never to be heard again? Well, let me tell you, this session is being recorded. As you can see up above with the red dot, it is being recorded and it is being simulcast on Facebook and YouTube. So I have actually gone out of the way to ensure that this particular session does not disappear into the ethers.
Yep. Hooray, Vernon, well done. You taught me something new.
But yeah, so I'm using, just to share with you, I'm using StreamYard even as we speak. I've got my mobile phone with Clubhouse on my handphone right now in front of my face. I've got a microphone hooked up to my computer. My computer has got StreamYard there, and StreamYard is streaming this particular audio into Facebook and Clubhouse. So StreamYard is a video streaming facility. So instead of the video camera being on me, right, I've just put up a placard of our event, which you will see if you go to my Facebook or my YouTube channel. Yep. So and this is actually an experiment that I decided I'd want to do tonight, because I was bored and I felt I needed a challenge. And thankfully, Joshua, who's here with us, he's my friend whom I managed to persuade to get onto Clubhouse tonight, and he agreed to come in. So I had one guest, and so I started with one guest on this experiment. And now look at the room. I've got so many people here, so it's wonderful. It started with 2 people in this room. I think we were talking for about half an hour with just 2 people or 3 people. It was me, Joshua, and Darren and stuff. And now we've got lots of people in the room. We've got some of my favorite people I can see down there. So yeah, I'm going to give them an invite to come up on stage. I hope they will join us. But yeah, hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. I like Clubhouse. I really do. I like that it is perhaps maybe the most human kind of communication, the sound of the human voice. We actually underestimate the power of speech and the power of hearing words and the choice of words that we make. And when we choose the right words and when we put the right intention into our communication, it can be so powerful. And that's when, rhetoric or oratorical devices come into play and helps people remember what you say. And when you speak with honesty and thoughtfulness, and compassion even, it lands with a way that nothing else can land. I mean, not like text. Text is just there on the page, and it may not be as authentic as the sound of the voice. So that's the reason why I love Clubhouse. And thank you, Adrian, so very much for sharing how valuable this is for us to connect. I'm going to move it right along to Thomas, who's joined us. Perhaps you can introduce us, Thomas, where you're coming in from and what you'd like to contribute to this conversation. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Vernon. I'm done speaking. Over to you, Thomas.
Hi, Vernon. Hi, everybody. Thank you for hosting this. I'm Thomas. I'm a blind researcher, activist, educator. Where am I based? I'm based in Belgium. I'm half Indian, half Belgian. But when coming back to your topic of the room, I thought we should turn it upside down.
Oh, shit.
I think Joshua accidentally muted himself.
Or he upside down and left out?
Hello, sorry. I've been having problems with my connection. Did someone ask me something?
No, we lost Thomas there for a while. So, Thomas, please carry on.
When you said upside down, I thought you went outside.
Okay, Thomas got moved to the audience, so I brought him back up. Sorry, Thomas. Somebody must have been looking at your profile and might have pressed move to audience or something. So anyway, Thomas, please continue. Please continue. Thomas, are you there? Okay, Thomas is visually impaired, so I'm not sure whether there's something going on with his app.
Audibly impaired?
Thomas, are you there, Thomas? Okay, we'll wait for Thomas to settle back in. Thomas, can you hear us? Would you like to unmute your mic? Okay, Thomas is not coming to us yet, so I will move the microphone to Ophelia. Ophelia, wonderful to see you. One of my favorite people on stage now. Over to you, Ophelia.
Hello, Vernon and everybody else. It's good to come back to this pivot to Asia. I kind of miss this club very much. But what attracted me is the hacks to better Clubhouse experience. So I'm here to listen, but I guess I can also share my experience on how I make better experience here on Clubhouse. Is that ever since I founded my own club called What's Up Sabah, it's just basically the intention of that club was because the Sabahan said, can you make something so that kita boleh cakap Sabah? Sebab, everybody else is just speaking English. We need a house to go back to on Clubhouse so that we can speak as comfortably as possible. So I did, and then never did I know that the club just grew bigger. And since the Kaamatan countdown, 24th of May, we've been doing daily rooms. Uninterrupted. So today was our 54th room. So some of the things that I do to make my Clubhouse experience better is that I like to balance between going to different kinds of topics. So you would see me in your hallway in a more serious topics like this one, hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. And suddenly you would see Ophelia in Kopitiam, sex, and love room, that kind. So I like to balance myself between different kinds of topics. So I like that variety. But how I make the experience of the club that I founded which is the Clubhouse, the WhatsApp Sabah that I was talking about, is I tried to make the effort of when we were making rooms, the question that I asked myself was, what is this bringing me? What is the end goal? What is it going to happen after we press end room? And I thought, okay, maybe we can open an Instagram account. And I made it that way that the Instagram account is a resources page where after every room, like for example, we spoke about diving, you would go back to the Instagram account and that's where you could get all the resources. So that's how I enrich my experience here on Clubhouse. I'm done speaking for now. Back to you, Vernon.
Thank you Thank you very much, Ophelia. Yeah, wonderful, and it's so great, that people like Ophelia, away over in Sabah, and Sarawakians like Daryl, who are coming on board here on Clubhouse and helping us Peninsulans understand our fellow Malaysians better. I think the East Malaysian voices and actually various voices of the different ethnic communities in Malaysia. Voices coming from various other aspects of our lives, which we would not normally experience or be in touch with or encounter, suddenly here on Clubhouse makes it such a wonderful experience. And wandering through rooms, the variety of rooms, as Ophelia had mentioned, is one of the experiences that you should not miss out on Clubhouse. Okay, I see Thomas muting and unmuting, and I think he's ready to talk. Thomas, I'm sorry about what happened just now. I don't know what happened. You were moved down to the audience, but you're back up here. And please, the mic is yours, Thomas. I'm Vernon, done speaking. Thomas, are you there? Your microphone might not be, I don't know. There's no sound coming from you. And yeah. Thomas, if you can hear me, just flash your mic several times. We cannot hear you at all. I can see you have unmuted, but there's no sound coming through. There is no sound. Perhaps you might want to leave the room and come back in. Okay. Yeah, because maybe the app is a bit buggy. So leave the room, come back in, and then the mic will be yours. And I hope it'll work. Thomas. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So here we are with 9 people on stage, including me. Right. And what I'm going to do is Siobhan is here, so I'm going to bring her up on stage because she always bullies me to, get onto the same stage as her when she's moderating, and she's such a great moderator. And hi, Siobhan, welcome to the stage. How are you?
Hi, Vernon. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Hi, Siobhan. Nice to see you, dear.
Hi, Adrian. Hi, EC. Good to see everybody. I got a big smile on my face.
Share with us what things that you've discovered to optimize or maximize or make your Clubhouse experience even more impactful than what you thought was possible, Siobhan. I think it's very interesting coming from you because I've watched you grow from a newbie to this power moderator on Clubhouse. So maybe you might like to share your experiences. Over to you, Siobhan.
Hi, Vernon. Hi, everyone. This is Siobhan. So, disclaimer, Vernon is overselling me. Let me just say that Vernon is overselling me in a very, very kind way. Wow, Clubhouse is a fantastic and limitless platform. You can literally find anything you can possibly find with human potential on Clubhouse. Based on my personal experience, it's literally curating your own experience on Clubhouse. Explore rooms with zero expectations first, emphasis on first, to get a hang on how the platform works. Get a feel of the rooms and clubs and topics that you're interested in, that you're passionate in. Follow people you want to keep listening to. These are people who will lead you to rooms that you can't find on your own, which is part of curating your own experience. It's like the way I visualize it is like this limitless Harry Potter world, and each person is the golden key to a room that could lead you to potentially your dream topics. And I say dream topics because when I first joined Clubhouse, I had zero expectations. I had no knowledge. I'm really late joining the bandwagon with joining Clubhouse. And I've used Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn for years. And I've tried to use it for LinkedIn, mostly for professional use, for Instagram, for personal use, and Facebook, it's really just to keep in touch with people from around the world. When I joined Clubhouse, I found that my traction professionally has exponentially increased in 1 month, which is basically the amount of time I've been on Clubhouse. I've been on Clubhouse for about 5 weeks now. It has increased tremendously compared to my traction on all the other platforms. As Vernon and many of us here will say, it's LinkedIn on steroids. And that's about all I have to share for now without hogging the mic, because I could keep going on and on and on about Clubhouse. I love it. This is Siobhan, and I'll pass the mic over to you, Vernon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Siobhan. Wonderful to have you in this room. It's been really interesting because I've got three of the most impressive women on Clubhouse, Jiaping, Ophelia, and Siobhan, on stage in my room. So I'm so honored. Three of them have started their own clubs. Three of them moderate rooms with such power and grace that it is really very amazing. It's wonderful to have you with us here today. Nabila will soon be starting her Clubhouse reign because she's a newbie of sorts, but I'm sure she'll be joining the ranks of our heroes and warriors, right, Nabila?
Maybe not. My team will do it. Nanji has its own survivors club, but I don't do any of that administration or that. I think I'm too. I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit too laid back to do that.
I think you'll just be the diva who wanders into rooms and gets pulled up on stage to speak, right? So here we are. Anybody down in the audience who'd like to come up to share their hacks of how they were able to make a better experience of their time on Clubhouse? Because I'm sure we discovered new things as we navigated through this app, as I have. Once again, I'd like to just do a little room reset while I wait for hands up or anybody here on stage who'd like to contribute further. Easy, you are unmuting. So yes, you want to say something?
Yes. I have 3 points to share. First, what Tony shared with regards to PowerPoints that we hide behind our PowerPoints. So as an engineering instructor or a trainer in the field of engineering, my deliverables in my classroom or in my presentation is highly visual. And I'm sure most of you would aware of the elements of receiving information and transmitting information, where we talk about visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So in the live environment, when my presentation and my deliverables are highly visual, and I insert a lot of auditory and kinesthetic words in my presentation. However, what I found is that with the online presentation and online delivery, we can still be showing our visual, but I'm totally and highly dependent upon my voice to basically now connect not only my visual and kinesthetic people, my auditory and kinesthetic people, but I have to transpose it to my voice to enable the visual people to connect with me. So I have to change my presentation or the way I deliver to be more visual deliverables, because we generally speak too fast, and I am trying and working on speaking slower. And in Clubhouse, I'm practicing. I use Clubhouse as a practice to basically speak slower, because it takes time for a visual person to picture what you say, because he doesn't have a picture in front of his face. So that's one element that I had to change in my training, using going through what we call currently online training. And so Clubhouse is a very interesting platform, because I use this platform to basically use my voice now to create visual images, because there's totally no presentation in front of any of you. That's number one. Number two is what what Vernon said, is that, and I think what Siobhan said, and honestly, I think Siobhan, we all started approximately the same time, and I see that you have now about 1K followers, because every time I pop in any room, chances are I would see you. I'm not following, I'm not, how do you say it? I'm not, what's the word? I'm not, tracking you. Stalking. I'm not stalking you, yes, but it's just that I see you in most rooms, and I honestly believe, as what Vernon said, the more rooms you get into and you actually speak with confidence, of course, not those rooms like Adrian says, or what I call them, the water cooler talk. Well, sometimes you need to be in the rooms for water cooler talk where you need to rant. But when you are in those a bit more professional rooms, a bit more eloquent rooms like this, and also I've joined the Toastmasters room, aviation talks. Every time I leave the room, and I'm very surprised the number of followers I suddenly get. I mean, not huge, but 3 or 4 on an average. I get a 1 or 2 more in my Instagram. But the intent is this: if we want to create a network, we want to create a seed, like what, speaking on the third point, what Adrian said is that nothing is lost. I want to share with Adrian that nothing is lost, because even I found that my water cooler chats, right, when we are talking about animals and not so animals because it becomes anatomy, but when you speak with confidence and with purpose, you plant a seed of thought. And I'm sure you understand, when from a certain, we call it a certain religious point, but I'm not religious point here, but when we talk about safety, when we talk about anything, it's a seed of thought that starts the growth or the birth. And I find this is very useful, because I found that my few rooms that I went in on aviation talk, I've got followers from India, I've got followers from US, Europe, and some from Malaysia, because the Malaysian aviation room. But interestingly, there is a wide perspective or wide variety that you can actually utilize, and it's never lost. Adrian, my sharing is this: it's never lost, because the seed of thought will spurn towards a positive side. Because if you plant a positive seed, it will grow to positive. If you plant a negative seed, then it'll be a negative. So that's my thought here. I'm done speaking. EC here.
Thank you very much, EC. Appreciate that. Yes, I do believe that, if your intentions are positive, the outcomes would definitely be positive. And if and sometimes, yes, there are people out there who would take advantage of you. But to be, as I mentioned earlier, to move around the world, being suspicious of everybody, is a little bit tiresome and energy sucking. So yeah, I also, I guess I stand with you in, allowing for more positive thoughts to exist within our minds. That's really, I think, it's really important. Yes. So we lost, was it Joseph, who was in and disappeared? What a shame, because he was a visually impaired guy, and I really wanted to hear him speak and share his experiences.
He's gone to another room, Vernon. He's in another room on travel with some
I see. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, Nabila. Yep. So on that note, what I would like to ask everybody else is, dear Joshua, perhaps, because this room was started for you, so this room was started for Joshua because it's his first time on Clubhouse. And I thought, in order to get him oriented with this app, perhaps maybe I will start a room and we'll have people share, and I'll talk about what I thought would be the hacks for a better Clubhouse experience. And it's been really, really amazing that all you wonderful people have joined up, and we are recording this. You will find it on my Facebook, actually. So, and I was just told by Dave, who was here earlier in the room, that what I'm doing is actually against the agreement that I have with Clubhouse. So I guess I'll have to wait and see if I get a lawyer's letter. But it's going to be interesting. Yeah. So if you'd like to see what the recording sounds like, if you go to my bio, you will see a part that says latest, right? And there'll be some bit.ly links there. And the bit.ly links that will take you to the Clubhouse post, the Facebook post of this recording is there under, I think it says pivot-ch hacks, I think. So yeah, so it's easy to remember URL if you want to check it out later on. Joshua, are you ready to basically feedback on your experience so far? Joshua, second, over to you. I'm Vernon, done speaking.
Hi, everyone. It's gotten so big now. I mean, I guess this whole thing has... I literally just downloaded the app, and Vernon was talking about it yesterday. And then I was like, I downloaded it, and then I followed, and then straight went into the room. So forgive me for not having my profile photo up. I mean, I guess I underestimated it because I was like thinking, let me just go in and look through, and I'll probably be able to find some topics or rooms. I'll be able to like kind of let my heart out and learn from other people, because I feel this COVID has really... I'm a very extroverted person, and I love talking through my issues and just having like even normal chats with my best friends. But I love expressing my emotions and being vulnerable. And I thought that it's just gonna be I'll be able to go in, and actually Vern has and a few others here have shown that it's more than just I guess just saying what's on your mind, because you get to connect with people, and it's a better way, I guess, of like learning through people, and there's no pressure, and you get a feel of each other. It's like better than, I guess, in a LinkedIn, because it's all visual, and you read and you see the accomplishments. Sometimes it can be intimidating, and as the room has grown, you can see like a lot of being, I guess, people like with you professionals and in your own fields. I guess it's been like very interesting to listen and how it's done, and the pitfalls, I guess, within the rooms and the rooms. Yeah, so I feel that I've learned so much already in just a session, and and I hope to learn more. So thank you all for sharing, and I know that Verna definitely has a lot of great friends and big names that it's good to I guess to attach yourself to someone, because I met Vern some time ago. I used to be a cabin crew with Singapore Airlines, and then I stopped flying. We used to hang out. All we used to do was really like drink and chill, and then throughout, I think, COVID, we started to play a lot of tennis, and now Vern has also opened new avenues, and he's always been a great friend, as I'm sure all of you can attest to, that he connects, and he's able to bring people together and help people, and I think that's really why people do follow Vern and people amongst your own groups. So yeah, I just want to thank you all for sharing that, and that's all from me. Joshua out.
Thanks, Joshua. I guess I owe you 3 beers now for saying such nice things about me. But it's easy enough, to be nice to nice people. So that's why we're all here together, nice people, one big kelompok of us, spending lockdown together. And yeah, so this has been a room that was started because I wanted to share with Joshua and various other people my Clubhouse experience and how I was able to optimize it. And the most important thing is to be authentic, show your face, have a brief bio at least, and follow as many people as possible, and join as many rooms as possible that resonate with you. Yeah, I think that's really important. Before I close the room, because we're coming up to almost 2 hours here, I would like to ask if anybody here on stage would like to say anything. If anybody in the audience, would you like to chime in or ask a question before I close the room? I will probably close the room at in 6 minutes time. So yeah, at midnight or 10 past midnight. If you wish to say anything, please raise your hands, those in the audience. Anybody here on stage, any last thoughts about the topic or anything that has come up in the course of this evening? Jia Ping?
Yeah, hi. I just wanted to say that, Clubhouse is one of the kindest, most giving experiences that I have experienced. I think everybody is very kind. So that's why I think this is the perfect platform for anybody wanting to try something new. Go out there, start speaking. The first thing that I did while learning the ropes was raising my hand to kind of say something. And because people are so kind, they will generally listen and give you the time of day, which is great. And it really helps you build confidence. So, and if you do need help, there is a ready community for you to kind of reach out to on Insta to say, hey, I'm doing this. This is my first time. Would love to have an audience. And there's so many people out there who are generous with their time, and they will all be there to support you. So, good luck and have a great experience out there, because, I've had so much fun and so much learnings in Clubhouse. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Jia Ping. Wonderful. And Tony, over to you.
Vernon, thanks a lot. And I'd like to just mention the person who got me on Clubhouse is here. He's Locke. I see him on the screen. And he put me on the spot, asking me to be a guest of his room. So, yeah, thanks a lot. It's been a great experience. And I can't say thank you enough. So, and Vernon, you speak really well. So I'm very impressed. So I gained something tonight. Definitely. Thanks a lot.
Okay, another 3 beers to you. Okay, thanks, Tony. Adrian, over to you. Any last words?
First of all, Ophelia, nice name. I don't know if you know, there's a song Ophelia by a band called The Band, one of my favorites. Look it up, it's on YouTube. So my friends, Vernon has, as a platform, I think all of us need to think about how we can add more value to the Clubhouse experience. It's a very new platform, so I'm fairly certain the developers are going to come up with additional features that makes the platform more conducive to the sharing of ideas and the learning of perspectives, which for me is a high value. I know people need to talk. I appreciate that. I value that myself. But at some point in time, we must also deliver value to our audience. And I think Vernon's attempt at Simulcast on Facebook and YouTube is a really good attempt at that. And I think all of us need to think of other solutions. And I hope the Clubhouse developers also will continue to develop the platform that adds more value to our what is clearly very valuable interactions between the people that are here today. Thank you, all of you. Nice to meet all of you this evening.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Yeah, one of the things that I used to do when I was attending Clubhouse sessions was that I would take a picture of the session, right, the event card, and put it onto my Facebook, and have Facebook open while I listened to the session. And as the session went on, I would make notes. And when there were when people drop names or titles of books or videos or theories or issues, I would actually do a quick Google search. And then I would actually put it down onto the thread of that particular Facebook post. That was how I kept it less ephemeral than how you had described it, Adrian. So that's one particular tip that I do. it does require setting yourself up to be able to do it. But because I guess there was nothing else for me to do, that's what I did, and I managed to learn a lot from the names that were dropped, the theories, the videos, the books, etc. A lot of stuff came out from me taking notes and stuff like that. Yeah, thanks, Adrian. Very much.
Thank you, Vernon.
Yep.
Thank you, Vernon, for your attempts. I really appreciate your efforts, Brett.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Yeah. Yes, Ophelia, over to you. Ophelia, what's up, Sabah? Yes, that's the name of your room. People, please follow everybody here on stage and in the audience. Yeah, Ophelia, over to you.
Thank you very much, Vernon. Adrian, are you talking about the Lumineers that sang Ophelia?
No, it's a really old band in the 70s. I think all the singers are dead now. The band is actually called The Band. Canadians and Americans, they sang old style rock and roll songs. And there's one particular song called Ophelia, which is one of my favorites. You look it up on YouTube, I'm sure you'll find it.
Right.
You suddenly reminded me of that song.
The band. Okay, I will look it up. All right. Anyways, I'd like to say that Vernon was one of that stranger that I met here on Clubhouse that taught me about including fellow East Malaysians. And I still remember that every time there was a Malaysian room, especially if the word Malaysia is on the title, Vernon would look and question the moderators. Hey, you're saying this is Malaysian. Where is your Sabah and Sarawak people? And he would make sure that I am dragged on stage to represent East Malaysia. But that, Vernon, has just changed the way I look at, including everybody here on Clubhouse. So every time I'm in a room, I just make sure, I just click on people's bio, make sure they are, I read up their bio, and even in WhatsApp Sabah, right? Even in Sabah, people are usually on the West Coast. People always forget about the East Coast. So I have included and make sure that whenever we say Sabahans, we also include people from the East Coast of Sabah. So making sure it is all rounded. So I'd like to thank you very much, Vernon, for doing that. Yeah, I'm done speaking for now. Thank you, Vernon. Back to you.
Thanks so much for remembering, Ophelia. Yeah, I was this rabble rouser on Clubhouse in the early days because number one, what irritated me was when they had manels where they had a forum and it was all men and no women's voices, or it was monocultural, and that used to irritate me a lot. So, so I guess it gave me something to do and gave me some sense of purpose. So, but thanks for remembering that because I completely forgot about how I used to drag you up on stage because I noticed you in the audience. Thank you very much. Appreciate you for that. Siobhan, over to you.
Thank you, Vernon. 3 people here on stage I met in a single room in Clubhouse. It was on the Speak Up Club, Vernon, EC, and Adrian. And the topic in the room that day was safety. And I'm so thankful I stumbled into that room. Joshua, welcome to Clubhouse. Welcome to the room. I think you will have a lot of fun here on Clubhouse. It's really a beautiful platform to actually build relationships because here there's on stage, there's Vernon, there's EC, there's Adrian, there's Ophelia, people I have regularly connected with and interacted with in rooms. Jiaping, I believe I'm meeting you here for the first time. Tony, and then there's Andrew below as well. So these are people I've regularly interacted with, and the rest like Aaron, Jasmine, Marcus, Lok, Keith, Salwa, Francine, Nicia are people I would have seen in other rooms. That's how I remember people because I look at the screen and I'm like, oh, hello. And I'm quite an extrovert myself. So sometimes I actually wave at the screen, jolly well knowing that people can't see, but it excites me knowing that, hey, my friends are here. And these are people I would want to connect with off of Clubhouse as well and would like to get to know each other. One thing I feel very compelled to share is that for anyone who is joining rooms on Clubhouse, don't feel compelled to stay in a room if you're not comfortable with it. There's always the leave quietly option at the bottom left of the screen. if for whatever reason you don't feel comfortable, you feel, you're just not comfortable, right? And something just doesn't sit right with you, don't feel obliged. You can always leave the room and hop into another room and connect with people, because it's really about you creating your own experiences on Clubhouse. And this is Siobhan. I am complete, but I am never done. Thank you so much, Vernon. I'm so glad I met you and everyone else here.
Well, thank you so much. Never done. You're well done. That's why. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for your contributions this evening on a conversation about making our Clubhouse experiences as best as possible through various things that we have discovered and shared. If there is nobody else who wants to say anything or add to the conversation, I will close the room down in, let me see. We have, we could go on for another 6 minutes, but I think we've gone on long enough, unless anybody in the audience has something to ask or say. Nobody.
Buy me a coffee.
Yes. Okay. On that note, I will therefore close the room. Who wants to say something? Or you are?
No, we love you, Vernon. Thank you. Good
night. Wait a minute. I need to have the right music. Okay. I've been planning this for the longest time. So just wait a minute while I try to get the music going. I don't think I can. Because I've got my laptop on recording this, and therefore I can't turn on the volume. Okay. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. See you all again soon.
Thanks, Vernon.
Stay safe. Bye, Tony. Bye, Jiaping. Bye, Joshua. Bye, Ophelia. Adrian. Siobhan. EC has left already. Andrew, Aaron, Jasmine, Marcus, Keith, Salwa, Hazik, Francine, and Nisha. Thank you so much. See you all again soon. Bye-bye.